they get a greater outcome because they're assigning meaning to the act, and that's when the prefrontal cortex gets into it. You start doing that enough times, it's no longer about the event.
Hello and welcome to the Pacific Channel, where we discuss the law of attraction, how to manifest anything you want, meditation, and more. I'm your host, Steve Doherty, and in today's video, someone asked Dr. Joe Dispenza a very important and intriguing question that requires some deep thought. Dr. Joe gives an excellent answer, but I would like to help clarify his answer, which I hope helps you to manifest whatever you want easier than before. The thing is that meditation isn't the only healing modality out there. For the last 20 years or more, I've been researching self-help, energy healing, and the law of attraction. I have read many self-help books on the topic, spent thousands of dollars on workshops, seminars, and courses, became a certified EFT practitioner, trained as a life coach with Coach U University, facilitated many healings, led healing groups of doctors and nurses, coached many people, and I've written dozens of books on the law of attraction, self-help, meditation, and energy healing as a ghostwriter. The point is that there are many different excellent healing modalities out there that work. I think it's important to be open-minded to new ways of thinking and the many different types of energy healing modalities there are out there. In other words, don't put all your faith, energy, and effort into just one method. Be open-minded and try lots of different things to see what works best for you. For example, meditation is by no means the only energy healing tool. There is Reiki, EFT, NLP, Psych-K, Qigong, Transcendental Meditation, and much more. They are all excellent tools that work differently than each other and excel in one area of healing more than the others. To rely on just one healing modality, like meditation, is like only using a hammer for a vehicle. You would never do that. It's only common sense. To me, EFT works as an amazing energy healing tool that is excellent at getting at the root cause of emotional problems. And meditation is a great tool to further enhance the connection you have to source energy and your inner being. So keep in mind that some of these other tools may work better for you than just meditation alone, or that they may help to enhance your meditation. In this audio clip with Dr. Joe, there is a flawed premise on the first question that is not really discussed. See if you can pick it out, and then we'll discuss it further. Let's listen to Dr. Joe now.
Hi, Dr. Joe. My question is, which strategy of the formula is most important? Intentionally doing something or surrendering without expecting a result? What if we don't see synchronicities? How do we know if we're doing the right thing?
Okay, I love the question. I think about this often in my own personal evolution and my own journey. I think there's such an incredibly delicate balance between intention and surrender. I think it is a razor's edge. It's a tightrope. And intention is a function of the brain, right? Getting clear on what we want, imagining an outcome, seeing a future, becoming aware of a possibility in the quantum field. I think that is a brain function, and that's intention. And then this combination of surrendering is trusting in that outcome, trusting in that future without getting in the way or forcing or controlling or trying to predict or compete for it. I think it's a different process of trust, and that tends to be a function of the heart. When our hearts are open, we are more vulnerable, and we tend to trust a whole lot more. The challenge is in three-dimensional reality, when we try to get something done and we have the intention, if it's not getting done, we try harder. And we're trying harder to make an outcome change in three-dimensional reality as matter changing matter, so that we can change our experience and the experience produces an emotion, and that emotion takes away that feeling of not having it, right? And so when we overintend, we naturally try. And gosh knows I've tried, God knows I've tried thousands of times, and I haven't gotten an outcome. And because trying implies separation, right? So can't do that in the quantum. And yet if we over-surrender, we're lazy, we're lethargic, we're disengaged, we're not in any way making an intentional effort. And so you got to have this kind of delicate balance between the function of the brain, the intention, which the more coherence we have in the brain, the stronger the signal we are creating in that very full field of energy that we call the quantum field. So that disturbance is connecting us and sending a signal out. The trusting in the outcome is a function of a coherent heart, and that means that we got to get really good at feeling what we feel when we feel trust, and when we surrender and we open our hearts and we're in love with our creation, and we have no idea then how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. We're too lost in the moment of that feeling. Now, for me, surrender is to get so lost in that feeling, so deep into the feeling that I forget about myself. That's my greatest interest. That's what I want to be able to do. So if I get lost far enough in it, the last thought I want to have when I have it is, what does this feeling feel like, so that I could continue to bring it up in my life? If I can stay in the energy of that intention, being aware of that possibility, and feeling the feeling that I would feel if it was beginning to occur in my life, my belief is that if I could synchronize my energy with my heart and my brain, have a coherent heart, and that coherence in the heart that becomes the magnetic field, the more I feel that feeling, the more connected I am to that future. And at the same time, not only am I connected to that future, I'm not looking for that future anymore. It feels like it's happening, so I'm trusting in that future. I'm out of the way. I'm completely out of the way. Now, if I do that really well, and I can sustain that state in my life, the deal that I have with the divine, with that consciousness that's aware of everybody, of everyone, of everything, of everywhere, every time, including you, my deal with it is, okay, so if I've really dipped in and I'm the source, and I send the signal out, and source is pure love, the more love I feel, the more in love I am with that future, the more I trust it, the more I'm drawing it to me. Okay, let me hang out in here for a period of time. If I've really done this well, and I've really connected, and I can maintain this state, this modified energy, for a good period of my day, and then if I forget, I'm going to stop and reconnect again. I'm going to reconnect again. If I can do that, God, I need some evidence in my life to let me know that this is the truth, or this is working, or I should keep going. Now, when the synchronicities, when the serendipities, when the coincidences, when the opportunities begin to happen, that's when we begin to believe we're the creator of exactly what's going on in our life. And that's an instinct. You know, I think it's innate in us to remember that. It's a remembering. It's a remembering that we are creators, right? And we're emulating the creator. We're emulating the divine. So some days are better than others. But for me, it's more about the synchronicity than anything else, because it's proof to me. That's the most important thing. So for me, it's an experiment. I experiment with the process. And so if I'm truly doing this well, there could be evidence in my life, and it's just a new thing, or something that just happened coincidentally. If it doesn't happen in my life, I can't say any longer that it doesn't work. I can't say that any longer. I've seen the data. I've seen too many things to say, oh, this is a different circumstance. And I've heard too many really great stories to say that. So the next thing I think about is, did I default back to the old emotion
of the past. I'm disconnected from the energy of that event, that future experiment, that experience that I want in my life. I'm back to the energy and the emotions of my past. My life should stay the same. Am I spending more time feeling this way, or am I spending more time feeling this way? Okay, it's probably not enough. So then I go back, and when I do the meditation, I do it for the simple reason of getting better at remembering what I should be remembering, how I want to think and how I do want to feel. And I keep bringing it up over and over again that I can do it on command. Why? Because I want to be able to practice that in my waking day. If I'm spending more time in that energy, then there should be change. Now, sometimes I have to do that for a week or 2 weeks, but nothing lost in the process, because to me, it means that I'm changing. I'm changing some unconscious belief. I'm changing some emotional state. I'm still in the experiment, and I can't say it doesn't work. I've seen it work too many times. I got to say, what is it about me that I need to become conscious of, that I was once unconscious to, that would evolve my experience of myself being a creator? So I think that that delicate balance between intention and surrender is the art, and my interest really is kind of balancing the two, having a kind of very relaxed intention, and being awake or aware of a possibility, and having this relaxed feeling in my heart, like I can trust again. I can trust in the future. I can believe in that future I can't see or experience with my senses yet, but I've thought about it enough times that I believe that my brain and body are changed to look like it's already happened. So if it looks like there's physical evidence that it's already happened enough times, then it should happen in three-dimensional reality. Okay, I'll try it again. So the only last thing about this that I think is essential is that if you're doing the work and you forget what you're doing and why you're doing it, you'll assign less meaning to the act, and you won't get the outcomes that you desire. And when you assign meaning, you turn on that prefrontal cortex, and now when that system switches on, the executive function switches on, you mean it. And you're very decisive, you're very clear, you're very intentional, you're very creative, you're very trusting, you're very innovative, you're speculating. This is a really wonderful state to be in. And so if you forgot the what and the why in your meditation, and you're working on a health condition, and you want to change your gene expression, you better understand what you're doing when you're feeling those emotions. You got to say, when I feel these elevated emotions, my body's got to believe it's living in that new future, that environment where I am healed. Okay, and genes make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of my body. And if I could signal genes, the expression of proteins is the expression of life. Okay, now I really want to do this meditation because I want to signal genes. When people do that, they get a greater outcome because they're assigning meaning to the act, and that's when the prefrontal cortex gets into it. You start doing that enough times, it's no longer about the event. It's about your change. It's about what you want to be able to do that, and you want to get really good at the effort. And when you get lost in the effort, then there's a surrendering that takes place where you're not looking for the outcome any longer because you feel like it's already happened. That's a good place to be. So I don't think there's an end to it. I mean, I'm always in the process of discovery around it. I'm always playing with the idea. I'm always challenging myself, but I think it's really important to make it fun. I mean, it's really important to play with it a little bit and be curious, and to really build that model. So make sure you have meaning also behind the act of creation.
So first, did you pick out the problem in the question? What was the question again that this person asked? He asked, what strategy in the formula of manifesting what you want is most important? Intentionally doing something or surrender? The problem with the question is that intentionally doing something is not intention. Intention is all about focused thought, not action. Am I splitting hairs here? Perhaps yes, but splitting hairs may help you to understand how the law of attraction really works. We have to separate intention from action, and the question really doesn't do that. Intentionally doing something, which was part of the question, is not the same thing as using the power of intention or visualization or mental rehearsal, as Dr. Joe explains it. Intention comes first, and then following your gut instinct on what action to then take comes second. Here's the thing that I really want to say here that isn't being discussed in this conversation with Dr. Joe. Just as how without contrast, there would be no photograph, without the contrast in your life, there would be no creation. In other words, the bad things that happen to you serve a valuable purpose. What purpose is that? It does two things. Number one, it helps you to clarify what you want. And number two, it shoots powerful rockets of desire out into the universe or the quantum field for what you want. The point is, the universe already knows what you want. It's not stupid. It doesn't have to be reminded 10 times a day. And when we work hard to explain to the universe what we want, we actually sabotage the results. And I think this is the problem that most of us have. That's why I think that surrender is a little bit more important than intention. But it is very, very close. Both are important. But Dr. Joe is right too. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm saying that for some of us, we are trying too hard. And when we try too hard, we offer up resistance out into the universe or the quantum field to what we want, which backfires on us and keeps what we want from coming into our lives. Just think about your own experience for a second. Have you ever lightly thought about something that you want and it didn't really matter if it came to you or not? And then it came to you easily and effortlessly? I know it's happened to me. And then have you ever really, really wanted something so badly that you ached for it, but it never came? That's the point. The point I'm trying to make is that you can intend all day long until the cows come home, but if you don't surrender, if you don't trust the universe with all your heart, what you want won't ever come. But if you were to surrender completely on all topics and all things and just be happy more of the time, everything that you ever wanted would come to you. As Dr. Joe said, it's supposed to be fun. Have fun with it. Try to manifest without surrendering and see what happens. And then try surrendering completely to anything and everything and then see what happens. And then try a hybrid of the two methods. Try intending lightly, try visualizing and surrendering at the same time and see what works best for you. As a very important side point, when you visualize, don't do it with the intention of manifesting what you want. That's the problem that a lot of us have. Do it because it feels good to do it. Do it because it feels good to do it. If you only do it because you want to manifest something, the message sent out to the universe is that you don't have it. If you only do it because you want it to manifest, the message sent out into the universe is that you don't have it. It's a message of separation. So you'll keep on manifesting the not having of it. In essence, in summary, the best advice for you to follow is your own advice. Tune yourself to your own inner wisdom. Don't look outside of yourself for answers. The answers are in you. But what I think is, if you're going to err on the side of surrender. But that's just my opinion. Do what works best for you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. But maybe only share this one with those who you know are into the law of attraction, because honestly, this is a rather deep dive into how the law of attraction works. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay positive.